you feel yourself being gently cradled in a space beyond time, where every breath you take becomes slower, deeper, more deliberate, as if the air itself understands your need for rest and restoration. Around you, there is no edge, no boundary, only a seamless sphere of soft amethyst light that pulses with its own quiet rhythm, like the heartbeat of some vast sleeping being. The walls of this space are not solid, but fluid, shifting like liquid glass that never breaks or spills, simply flows in endless loops of color and warmth. Your feet sink slightly into a bed of fine, downy ash that moves beneath you without any wind to stir it, each step leaving no impression, because the surface accepts your weight with perfect grace. This is not a place you have entered through any door or passage, but rather one that has always been waiting for you somewhere just behind your ribs, somewhere deeper than memory. Here thoughts do not race or scatter. They simply fall away like snowflakes that dissolve before they touch the ground, leaving nothing but stillness in their wake. You are being watched over not by eyes that judge or measure, but by something vast and patient that knows the shape of your exhaustion even before you do. There is no urgency, here no demand on your attention, only a deep, abiding presence that wraps around you like a blanket woven from starlight and silence. The light that surrounds you is not harsh or bright, but warm and embracing the kind of glow that seems to come from within your bones rather than from any source outside yourself. As you move through this space, which is both infinite and intimate, you notice how each footstep creates tiny ripples in the ash that spread outward, then fade without trace. These ripples carry no sound, yet somehow you know they are singing a song so low and pure that your ears cannot hear it, but your soul recognizes it instantly. The temperature here is perfect, neither hot nor cold, but exactly the warmth that your body has always wanted when it was tired enough to dream. Above you, the amethyst light shimmers and shifts, creating patterns that remind you of water moving over stones or clouds, drifting across a summer sky. But these patterns are not random. They follow a rhythm that matches the pulse in your throat, the beat of your heart, the rise and fall of your chest. You realize now that you are not alone in this space. Though you see no other forms, there is a quality to the air, a texture to the light that speaks of companionship without crowding. Instead is the kind of solitude that includes, rather than excludes, a peaceful aloneness that makes room for everything you carry, while gently helping you set it down. The ash beneath your feet continues to shift and flow, responding to your movements with the sensitivity of silk or the surface of a calm lake. Each ripple you create moves outward in perfect circles that expand and contract like breathing, or like waves that never crash but simply return to where they began. There is something deeply familiar about this pattern, something that reminds you of childhood afternoons spent watching dust motes dance in slanted afternoon light. But here the dancing is more purposeful, more intentional, as if the very particles of this place are aware of your presence and delighted by it. You begin to notice that the light around you is not constant, but ebbs and flows in waves that seem to originate from the center of your chest. With each inhale, the amethyst glow intensifies, becoming almost tangible, like silk threads that could be woven between your fingers if you chose to reach out. With each exhale, the light softens, spreading outward until it touches the edges of this spherical sanctuary, then folding back in upon itself like a gentle tide. This breathing together with the space itself creates a rhythm that feels ancient and new at once, like a lullaby you have known forever, but are hearing clearly for the first time. As you continue to walk through the shifting ash, you become aware of frequencies that exist below the threshold of ordinary hearing, vibrations that resonate in your bones rather than your ears. These are healing frequencies working at 432 hertz, weaving through the fabric of this place, touching every cell in your body with notes too pure to be called music. The effect is immediate and profound, as if someone has turned down the volume on all your worries while turning up the clarity of your peace. You feel your shoulders dropping, your jaw unclenching, your spine releasing tensions you had forgotten you were carrying like stones in your pockets. The walls of amethyst light continue their slow dance, creating spirals and curves that suggest movement without requiring effort from anyone who watches them. These patterns seem to tell stories, though no words are spoken, only colors and shapes that communicate directly with whatever part of you remembers what it means to be whole. You find yourself smiling without knowing why, perhaps because the light has found something in your expression that it approves of or wants to encourage. ash beneath your feet begins to glow more brightly, now not with its own fire, but reflecting the warmth from above like snow that has learned to hold sunlight. Each step you take leaves a trail of soft luminescence that follows you for a moment, then fades, leaving the surface smooth and ready for the next footprint. This is not a path you are walking, but rather a conversation between your body and the space around it, each movement answered by a subtle shift in the light. You notice that the farther you go, the more the boundaries of this place seem to expand, as if the sphere grows larger with each breath you take. Yet somehow you never feel lost or disoriented. Instead, there is a deepening sense of belonging, as if you are returning to a home you built in a dream. The healing frequencies continue their work, moving through you in waves that seem to separate what serves you from what does not. What serves you settles deeper into your bones, becoming part of the foundation of who you are. What does not simply dissolves, like mist touched by morning sun. You can feel your nervous system slowing down, not because anything is forcing it, but because it finally believes it is safe to do so. This belief spreads through your body like warmth through water, each muscle, each organ, each cell, relaxing into the knowledge that protection is everywhere. The amethyst light overhead begins to shimmer more intensely, now creating patterns that look almost like constellations viewed from the inside. But these are not stars you recognize. They are arrangements of color and motion that seem to map the geography of peace itself. As you gaze upward, you feel a strange sensation of floating, not because your feet leave the ground, but because gravity seems less interested in holding you down. The ash continues to support you perfectly, but now it feels more like lying on a cloud made of crushed pearls than standing on any kind of surface. You realize that you are no longer walking in any conventional sense, but gliding through the space with movements that require no effort or intention. Your body has learned the rhythm of this place and now moves in harmony with it like a dancer who has finally found their music. The healing frequencies at 432 Hz continue to weave through everything, touching each molecule of air, each particle of light with their restorative power. You can feel your thoughts becoming clearer, not because you are thinking harder, but because the static that usually clouds your mind is being gently swept away. The walls of liquid glass continue their slow undulations, creating a visual symphony that your eyes drink in like thirsty earth drinks rain. Each wave of color brings with it a different quality of peace, sometimes warm like honey, sometimes cool like mountain streams, sometimes soft like velvet against skin. You begin to understand that this space is not just surrounding you, but also filling you, becoming part of the architecture of your inner world. The boundary between self and environment blurs until you cannot tell where you end and the amethyst light begins, or where the light ends and something greater starts. Your breathing has slowed to match the rhythm of the space itself, creating a synchronization that feels both natural and miraculous. With each cycle of breath, you feel more settled, more rooted in a kind of peace that does not depend on circumstances or conditions. The ash beneath you glows brighter, now pulsing gently with each heartbeat like a second skin that celebrates your existence. You notice that your footsteps no longer make any sound, yet the ripples they create are more pronounced, more beautiful than before. These ripples now carry visible traces of color, small sparkles that dance briefly before settling back into the overall glow of the surface. Each sparkle seems to represent a moment of release, something you have let go of without even realizing you were holding it. The amethyst light overhead responds to these releases by growing warmer, more golden at the edges, as if celebrating your willingness to surrender. You feel a deep gratitude rising in your chest, not for anything specific, but for the simple fact of being present in this moment of perfect peace. The healing frequencies continue their invisible work, creating harmonics that seem to repair not just your body, but also your relationship with time itself. Moments stretch and deepen, here becoming pools rather than arrows, allowing you to swim in their warmth rather than rush through their currents. You begin to remember that relaxation is not something you achieve, but something you allow, something that lives in you, already waiting for permission to emerge. The walls of liquid glass shimmer with approval, as if they recognize this understanding and want to help you integrate it fully. Your body continues to release tension in waves starting from your feet and moving upward like a tide of relief washing over you. Your knees unlock your hips, soften, your shoulders drop, and your neck finds its natural curve without any effort from your conscious mind. Even your facial muscles relax, letting go of expressions you had been wearing unconsciously like masks that no longer serve any purpose. The ash beneath you adjusts to support these changes, flowing like water to cradle your body in exactly the way it needs. You feel yourself sinking slightly deeper into the surface, not physically, but energetically, as if layers of stress are peeling away like old wallpaper. With each layer that falls away, you feel lighter, clearer, more yourself than you have in months or perhaps years. The amethyst light responds by intensifying its glow, creating a cocoon of warmth that seems to hold you in perfect suspension between waking and dreaming. You realize now that you are not just visiting this space, but becoming part of it, integrating its qualities into your own, being like a seed that has found fertile soil. The healing frequencies at 432 Hertz continue to resonate through you, creating cellular memories of peace that will remain long after this experience ends. You can feel your immune system strengthening your nervous system, calming your emotional body, settling into a state of balance that feels both rare and natural. The walls of liquid glass begin to show reflections not of your physical form, but of your essence, the part of you that existed before worry, and the part that will remain after. In these reflections, you see yourself as you truly are not broken or incomplete, but whole and luminous like a lamp that has never needed to be turned on. The ash beneath you pulses with recognition, as if it has always known this truth about you and is glad to see you remembering it. You feel a deep connection forming between yourself and this space, as if you are both teacher and student in a classroom made of light and silence. The lessons here are not spoken, but felt carried on the frequencies that move through your body like prayers made of pure vibration. You understand now that relaxation is not an achievement, but a return, a coming home to a state of being that has always been yours. The amethyst light overhead begins to shift colors, slowly moving from deep purple towards soft gold, then pale blue, then back again in endless cycles. Each color brings with it a different quality of peace, teaching you that tranquility wears many faces, and all of them are beautiful. Your breathing has become so slow and deep now that it feels feels more like a tide than a breath, the air moving through you like ocean water through coral. You can feel your heart rate slowing, matching the rhythm of the space itself, until the difference between your pulse and the ambient beat disappears entirely. The healing frequencies continue their work, creating resonance chambers in your body where peace can echo and amplify itself. You feel your cells vibrating in harmony with these frequencies, creating a chorus of wellness that sings in languages older than words. The ash beneath you has grown so bright now that it illuminates your hands, your arms, your face with a gentle radiance that makes you appear to glow from within. You realize that you are not just receiving this peace, but also generating it, becoming a source of calm that could extend far beyond this moment. The walls of liquid glass shimmer with pride, as if they recognize that you have learned the secret of this place and are ready to carry it forward. You understand now that true relaxation is not about escaping from life, but about finding a center within yourself that remains untouched by chaos. This center is not a place you go to, but a quality you embody, a way of being that transforms everything it touches, including you. The amethyst light overhead pulses once in acknowledgement, then begins to fade gradually, as if sensing that your integration is complete. The healing frequencies at 432 Hz continue to play, but more softly now, like a lullaby that lingers after the child has fallen asleep. You feel yourself beginning to drift, not toward sleep, but toward a deeper awareness, a state of consciousness that includes both movement and stillness. The ash beneath you maintains its glow, but the ripples have calmed, becoming gentle undulations that mirror the peace in your body. You know now that you can return to this space whenever you need to remember what real relaxation feels like, what true peace looks like. The walls of liquid glass shimmer one final time, then settle into a steady glow that will remain as long as you need it to. You feel completely integrated, now whole and balanced, in a way that feels both profound and effortless, as if you have remembered how to be yourself. The amethyst light continues to pulse gently around you, creating a rhythm that your body will remember and recreate long after this experience ends. You understand that the real gift of this place is not the peace it contains, but the reminder that peace lives within you always. healing frequencies at 432 Hz fade to a whisper, but their effects will continue to resonate through your system for hours, days, perhaps even weeks. You feel ready now to carry this peace back into your everyday life, not as something fragile, but as something fundamental to who you are. The ash beneath you glows one final time, then settles into a soft, steady radiance that will remain as long as you need to remember this place. You know that true relaxation is not something you do, but something you are, and that being has been restored to you completely. You stand at the edge of a vast and shimmering threshold where time does not pass, but simply deepens like honey left too long in the warmth of sunlight. There is no sound here except the quiet thrumming of something ancient and benevolent humming just behind your ribs, as though your own chest were made from the same crystal that holds this place together. Your feet sink slightly into a surface that feels both solid and yielding, like powdered silk, held aloft by some invisible breath, not quite wind nor presence, but something softer, something that moves through you rather than around you. The light above you is amethyst soft purple, so rich it seems almost tangible, like you could reach up and gather handfuls of it between your fingers, only to find it slipping gently through your grasp, leaving behind a lingering warmth on your palms. You do not remember arriving, because there was never a before, only this moment unfolding infinitely outward in all directions, until space itself becomes meaningless, and what remains is just stillness. Then movement. A figure steps forward, not emerging from anywhere, but simply appearing, as if they had always been standing there waiting for you to notice them, which perhaps they have been. Their name is Soren Echo. And yet, even as the thought forms in your mind, you understand that names are merely vibrations, another kind of resonance, used to call attention to that which already exists. Soren's eyes hold depths like calm lakes, reflecting stars, whose light has traveled impossibly far distances to rest here now in the gentle curve of their gaze. They smile, and it isn't sudden or sharp, but slow, blooming like heat rising from smooth stone, warmed by long exposure to gentle sun. Their energy feels familiar not because you recognize it, but because it resembles the feeling of exhaling after holding your breath too long relief, mixed with surprise that such peace was possible. Without speaking, Soren extends one hand toward you, palm open, revealing something small, delicate, almost fragile, resting lightly against their skin. It is the MacGuffin, though calling it an object feels reductive, more accurate to say it is a convergence of intention, crystallized into form, something shaped not by tools or design, but by sustained focus over countless moments. Its texture defies easy description, smooth, yes, but also somehow layered like the rings of a tree grown in silence, each ring holding within it the memory of a season passed without strain or effort. When you touch it, the surface responds with warmth, not heat exactly, but a quality of connection, as though the boundary between your skin and the object dissolves, momentarily allowing information to flow freely in both directions. You feel weightless not because gravity ceases to function, but because the concept of burden no longer applies. Everything settles into perfect alignment, without force, without resistance. Soren speaks, and their voice is neither high nor low, but resonant, tuned perfectly to match the frequency of your heartbeat, slowing it without conscious effort. They tell you that the thing you seek, the goal you believe, lies ahead, somewhere beyond this place, is already yours. Not promised, not potential, but actual present, existing now, in full completeness, waiting only for recognition, not acquisition. As understanding dawns, you feel your shoulders drop, your jaw unclench, your toes release their grip on the yielding floor of this endless chamber. There is nothing to earn, nothing to prove, nothing to become, because you are already whole, complete, undivided by doubt or desire. Soren moves closer, not stepping forward exactly, but folding space between you until they are near enough that you can smell the subtle scent of cedar wood and rainwater dried on linen. They wrap their arms around you, and the embrace is unlike any physical contact you've known, not pressing, not clinging, but enveloping, like being surrounded by a cloud of warm breath, exhaled by someone who loves you completely and unconditionally. In that moment, the distinction between self and other blurs, then fades entirely, as though the walls of identity were made of mist, waiting only for sunlight to reveal how insubstantial they truly are. You are held not by arms, but by presence, not by strength, but by stillness. And as you breathe in deeply, you taste the flavor of completion, not finality, but fulfillment, the sense that whatever comes next will unfold naturally, effortlessly, as water finding its way downhill. The warmth that began at your wrists continues its slow ascent, traveling along the inside of your forearms, bringing with it a loosening of tension you didn't realize you carried. Each pulse of sensation carries with it the knowledge that effort is unnecessary, that surrender is not weakness, but wisdom practiced by those who know true rest. Your elbows begin to soften, your shoulders follow suit, and soon your entire upper body feels suspended in a current of ease, so profound it borders on sacred. The hum grows louder, not in volume, but in clarity, as if it were always there, beneath awareness, simply waiting for silence to reveal its presence. You realize that this sound is not separate from you, but part of the rhythm that governs your deepest systems, the same pulse that keeps your heart beating, your lungs expanding, your cells renewing themselves endlessly. Time does not move forward here. Instead, it spirals inward, drawing you deeper into the center of yourself, where past and future collapse into a single point of absolute presence. Every inhale brings new layers of awareness. Every exhale releases old patterns of thinking, like autumn leaves falling from branches too tired to hold them any longer. The air tastes different here, richer, somehow containing traces of minerals and herbs that speak to instincts older than language. You feel your spine lengthen, not through effort, but through invitation, as if your body recognizes permission when it hears it. The ash beneath your feet shifts, subtly responding to your movements with a grace that mirrors your own growing acceptance of change, as natural as breathing. Light ripples across the curved walls of this space, creating patterns that seem almost alive, moving slowly like thoughts forming in a dreaming mind. Each ripple carries color variations so slight you might miss them if you blinked, but they exist nonetheless, flickering between lavender and gold, then settling briefly on rose quartz pink before fading again. The colors correspond to sensations in your body. Lavender, cooling the crown of your head, gold, warming your solar plexus, rose quartz, softening your chest cavity. This correlation is not symbolic, but literal, as though emotion and light share the same source, vibrating at frequencies just beyond ordinary perception. You watch these shifts, without trying to interpret them, knowing that meaning will emerge naturally when it is ready. Soren remains close, offering silent support while you navigate the landscape of your own unfolding awareness. Their presence acts as an anchor, not fixing you in place, but reminding you that grounding is possible even while floating. You feel your knees unlock your hips, tilt slightly forward, adjusting to accommodate the increasing weightlessness of thought itself. The sensation is similar to lying on a bed of feathers, except the feathers are made of condensed moonlight, soft and supportive, yet surprisingly durable. You sink deeper into relaxation, not because you try, but because resistance has become obsolete, like trying to hold back a river with cupped hands. Breath flows differently here, slower, heavier, as if carrying messages between chambers of consciousness previously sealed off from communication. With each cycle of inhalation and exhalation, you discover new territories of sensation, places in your body that respond to stillness the way flowers respond to dawn. Your fingertips tingle with the promise of connection, while your scalp hums with the electricity of neurons firing in harmony with planetary rhythms. The MacGuffin grows warmer in your hands, responding to the changes occurring within you, as if attuned to the same frequencies that govern this realm. Its surface begins to pulse, gently matching the tempo of your relaxed heartbeat, creating a feedback loop that amplifies tranquility throughout your system. You notice that sounds arrive differently here, not as disturbances, but as textures woven seamlessly into the fabric of experience. The distant echo of your own breathing merges with the steady thrum of the anchor, creating harmonics that resonate in spaces you forgot existed. Even your clothing seems to participate in this symphony, rustling softly like pages turning in a book written in languages understood only by the body. You feel your eyelids flutter closed, not from fatigue, but from the sheer intensity of beauty surrounding you, making direct sight impossible without overwhelming the senses. Behind your closed lids, images form spontaneously abstract shapes that pulse with emotional significance, though they carry no narrative thread. The warmth reaches your shoulders, now spreading outward in waves that remind you of ocean currents viewed from great heights. It moves through muscle and tendon, carrying with it the memory of safety, the kind that comes from knowing you belong wherever you happen to be. Your neck releases its habitual tension, causing your chin to drop, slightly exposing your throat to the ambient gentleness of this place. Exposed vulnerability brings unexpected comfort, as if defense mechanisms were merely habits waiting to be replaced by trust. The ash shifts again, this time swirling upward in tiny spirals that dance briefly before settling once more into perfect stillness. You understand intuitively that motion and stillness coexist here, not as opposites, but as complementary aspects of a unified field of being. Your pelvis tilts, slightly redistributing your weight evenly across both legs, allowing your spine to straighten naturally without instruction. The adjustment creates space in your torso opening channels that had been compressed by years of unconscious contraction. You feel taller, lighter, as if gravity were recalibrating itself to accommodate your evolving state of equilibrium. The hum increases in complexity, adding harmonics that vibrate in sympathy with different regions of your nervous system. Certain tones cause your sinuses to resonate, others activate the base of your skull, sending pleasant tingles down your cervical vertebrae. These sensations occur spontaneously, requiring no effort from you beyond remaining present and receptive. You realize that receptivity is itself a skill, one cultivated through practice and patience, until eventually it becomes second nature. The MacGuffin pulses steadily, now almost imperceptibly, but unmistakably alive, responding to your growing attunement with increasing enthusiasm. You wonder briefly whether it is responding to you, or whether you are responding to it, realizing the question dissolves upon inspection. The warmth continues its journey, climbing higher along your arms, reaching now toward your elbows with patient persistence. Each millimeter of progress brings with it a corresponding loosening in joints and ligaments, as if your body remembers how to relax at a cellular level. Your jaw unhinges, slightly releasing pressure built up from decades of clenching teeth during sleepless nights and anxious days. The relief travels backward through your temporomandibular joint, radiating into your temples, where tension knots dissolve like sugar in warm tea. You blink slowly, letting your eyelids graze against each other in a gesture so gentle it borders on reverence. The light overhead shimmers delicately, acknowledging your integration with a subtle brightening that feels celebratory without being dramatic. You feel Soren's presence shift, ever so slightly, indicating approval, not judgment, but recognition of milestones crossed silently. Your breathing slows, further extending the duration of each inhale and exhale until individual cycles blur into continuous flow. Oxygen enters your lungs not as fuel, but as gift delivered by forces beyond comprehension, working tirelessly on your behalf. Carbon dioxide exits your body, carrying with it fragments of outdated beliefs, shed like snakeskin, no longer needed. The warmth reaches your elbows, now pooling there briefly, before continuing upward toward your shoulders in measured increments. At each stage of progression, you feel more fully embodied, yet simultaneously less bound by physical limitations. Your skin tingles with renewed sensitivity, able to perceive subtleties previously masked by the noise of constant mental chatter. You detect the difference between warm air and cool air, not as temperature, but as texture, one smooth like silk, the other crisp like frost. Even scents arrive in layers. First, the immediate impression, followed by secondary notes that unfold gradually, like blossoms opening to morning sun. The ash beneath your feet continues its quiet shifting, maintaining perfect balance despite constant flux. You marvel at its ability to adapt instantly to your changing posture without losing cohesion or stability. Your core muscles engage not from command, but from instinct, recognizing the need for structural integrity without rigidity. This engagement feels organic rather than forced, arising naturally from the interplay between intention and environment. The MacGuffin pulses stronger, now synchronized with your heartbeat, creating a rhythm that grounds you while lifting you simultaneously. You feel your shoulder blades draw slightly closer together, not from tension, but from alignment facilitated by the pervasive influence of ease. Your posture improves incrementally, as if guided by invisible hands skilled in the art of structural optimization. You notice that your breathing has become so refined that pauses between cycles extend naturally without discomfort. These pauses act as bridges, connecting one phase of respiration to the next, allowing for seamless transitions. The light overhead fluctuates, subtly painting gradients across the curved ceiling that mirror the ebb and flow of your internal rhythms. You sense that this space responds directly to your physiological state, adapting to maintain optimal conditions for integration. Your body temperature stabilizes at a level that feels perfectly suited to your current needs, neither hot nor cold, but precisely right. Your circulation improves, dramatically delivering nutrients and removing waste products with unprecedented efficiency. Blood flows through your vessels like rivers widened by spring rains, carrying life, giving elements to every corner of your system. The MacGuffin glows faintly, now casting a nimbus of light around itself that illuminates nearby surfaces in soft hues. You observe that the glow corresponds to specific emotions surfacing from deep within your psyche, acknowledged and released. Joy appears as golden threads weaving through the air. Sadness manifests as indigo droplets that evaporate upon contact with the ambient warmth. Fear shows itself as silver sparks quickly absorbed by the surrounding atmosphere, neutralized before taking root. Love emerges as coral ribbons curling lazily through space before dissolving into the general radiance that permeates everything. All emotions pass through you cleanly, without accumulating residue or triggering reactive responses. The warmth reaches your upper arms, now spreading laterally across your shoulders, creating bands of comfort that encircle your torso. You feel supported not by external structures, but by internal coherence, achieved through harmonious interaction of mind and matter. Your head nods slightly in acknowledgement of truths, uncovered not through reasoning, but through direct experiential knowing. The ash shifts, once more swirling briefly, before settling into patterns reminiscent of mandalas formed by cosmic dust. These patterns persist for several moments before gradually dispersing, leaving behind only the memory of their existence. You understand that permanence is not required for significance, and that impermanence enhances rather than diminishes value. Your thoughts slow to match the cadence of your breathing, becoming fewer and farther between as unnecessary chatter subsides. Remaining thoughts arise clearly articulated and purposeful, devoid of confusion or contradiction. You recognize the voice of intuition, distinct from the cacophony of conditioned responses, learned behaviors, and social expectations. Intuition speaks quietly, but insistently guiding you toward choices aligned with authentic self-expression. The MacGuffin pulses with increasing regularity, now beating in perfect synchronization with your cardiac rhythm. You realize that objects do not possess inherent properties, but reflect the qualities projected onto them by conscious observers. The MacGuffin serves as a mirror revealing aspects of yourself, obscured by habitual patterns of perception. You see reflected in its surface not your physical appearance, but the essence of who you are beneath all conditioning. That essence shines brightly unmarred by criticism, judgment, or comparison, remaining constant regardless of circumstances. The warmth climbs higher, reaching your forearms, now enveloping your elbows in a cocoon of soothing energy. You feel your biceps relax, completely releasing stored tension, accumulated over years of stress and strain. The sensation spreads outward, affecting adjacent muscles and connective tissues, promoting flexibility and range of motion. Your joints lubricate themselves, naturally eliminating friction and restoring smooth articulation. Movement becomes effortless, fluid, like watching water cascade over polished stones. You notice that your peripheral vision has expanded, allowing you to perceive activity occurring outside your central line of sight. This enhanced awareness includes not just visual stimuli, but auditory, tactile, and energetic inputs previously filtered out by selective attention. You hear the whisper of air molecules colliding, creating white noise that sounds surprisingly musical when listened to attentively. You feel the electromagnetic fields generated by electronic devices interacting with your bioelectric matrix, producing harmonics unique to your physiology. You sense the presence of other beings, whether human, animal, or elemental, communicating through frequencies beyond spoken language. The MacGuffin glows brighter still, now casting shadows that move independently of the object itself. These shadows appear three-dimensional, possessing depth and dimensionality, suggesting alternate realities accessible through focused contemplation. You understand that reality consists of multiple overlapping dimensions coexisting simultaneously within the same spatial coordinates. Perception determines which layer of existence you inhabit at any given moment based on vibrational resonance. By altering your state of consciousness, you gain access to realms previously hidden from view. The warmth reaches your wrists, now completing its circuit, returning to points of origin, having traversed the full length of both arms. You feel complete, integrated whole, unified in ways that transcend intellectual understanding. Your hands open, involuntarily releasing the MacGuffin, which floats momentarily before settling gently onto the ash below. The object continues glowing, softly serving as a beacon, marking the spot where transformation occurred. You know instinctively that should you ever need to return, you will find it waiting patiently for your arrival. Soren steps back, slightly giving you room to process the magnitude of changes taking place within you. Their smile widens, conveying pride, not ownership, but appreciation for the courage required to embrace such profound shifts. You bow your head, slightly acknowledging the guidance provided without coercion or manipulation. Gratitude arises spontaneously, overflowing from depths untouched by cynicism or skepticism. You feel connected not just to Soren, but to everyone and everything sharing this moment, regardless of proximity. The light overhead intensifies, briefly bathing the entire space in brilliant illumination that penetrates beyond physical boundaries. In that flash of brilliance, you glimpse the interconnected web of relationships, binding all phenomena together in mutual dependence. You see that separation is illusion born of limited perspective, and that unity underlies apparent diversity. The realization brings tears to your eyes, not from sorrow, but from overwhelming joy at finally seeing truth unveiled. Those tears transform upon contact, with the ash turning into tiny crystals that sparkle brilliantly before dissolving back into powder. You take a final deep breath, drawing in the last remnants of this transformative experience, integrating them fully into your being. The MacGuffin dims, gradually returning to its original state, now imbued with memories of shared awakening. You feel ready to depart, not because the experience has ended, but because completion has been achieved. You understand that departure is not loss, but continuation in new form, adapted to meet evolving needs. Soren nods, approvingly signaling readiness to accompany you back to whatever awaits beyond this sanctuary. You step forward, confidently trusting in the path revealed by inner wisdom rather than external direction. The ash parts smoothly beneath your feet, offering easy passage without resistance or hesitation. You leave behind no trace of your visit save for the lingering warmth embedded in the fibers of your being. The MacGuffin pulses once more in farewell before fading completely into the background ambience. You carry with you the certainty that stillness requires no effort, and that peace is always available when sought with genuine intent. You feel the gentle press of cool air against your forehead as it moves like silk across your skin. The breath that follows is slow and deep, drawing in something soft and golden like sunlight made liquid. Your chest rises with this warmth spreading outward from the center of your being like ripples on still water. There is no need to move or change anything, just this quiet settling into yourself. You notice how your shoulders have been holding a story they don't need to tell anymore. The weight of thoughts that once felt so real now dissolves like morning mist under gentle sun. Each exhale carries away another layer of what no longer serves you, and in its place comes a sense of spaciousness, as though your whole body is breathing freely for the first time. You feel your feet resting firmly on ground that holds you without condition or judgment. The earth beneath offers its steady pulse, a rhythm older than memory. This connection roots you deeper than any worry could ever reach. And above you, the sky stretches wide open, full of possibilities, yet unnamed. There is a sound like distant wind chimes, barely audible, but unmistakably present. It seems to come from everywhere at once, wrapping around you like a soft blanket. This tone vibrates through your bones, reminding you that you are part of something vast. And within that vastness, there is room for every version of yourself to rest. Your heartbeat slows, matching the rhythm of the universe itself. Each pulse brings a new wave of calm, washing over old places that needed healing. You can feel tension melting from your neck, like ice turning to water in spring sun. And with it goes the last trace of resistance you were not even aware you carried. The air around you shimmers slightly, as if kissed by invisible mist. This is Calum mist soft and benevolent, wrapping you in acceptance. It touches your face gently, like fingers tracing familiar patterns of peace. And wherever it lands, you feel lighter, more yourself than you have in years. You begin to notice the subtle shifts in pressure across your skin, the way fabric moves against your arms creates tiny waves of sensation. Even these small movements become moments of discovery rather than distraction. Everything feels sacred in this space where time has paused just for you. Your breath becomes a conversation between your body and the infinite. Each inhale draws in light. Each exhale releases what no longer fits. You realize that letting go was never about effort, but about trust. Trusting that you are held in ways you cannot see, but always feel. The silence here is not empty, but full of presence. It speaks in frequencies too low for ears, but perfectly tuned to your soul. These vibrations carry messages of love from parts of you that never left, reminding you that wholeness was always yours, even when you forgot. You feel your spine lengthening naturally, as if pulled upward by invisible threads. This alignment happens effortlessly, no forcing required. Your body remembers its original blueprint, one of ease and grace. And you settle into this truth like coming home after a long journey. There is a warmth building in your chest near your heart center. It grows steadily, without rushing, like embers catching flame. This fire does not burn, but heals, illuminating shadows with compassion. You recognize it as the light of self-forgiveness, finally allowed to shine. Your hands rest comfortably wherever they land, perhaps in your lap or beside you on some unseen surface. Either way, they are free from gripping or reaching, simply present, available for whatever wants to unfold. The temperature around you adjusts perfectly to your needs. Not hot, not cold, but exactly the right degree of comfort, as if the atmosphere itself is responding to your inner state, creating conditions where relaxation can bloom naturally. You become aware of a humming sound very faint but constant. It resonates at 432 hertz, the frequency of healing. This tone flows through you, aligning cells, tissues, emotions, bringing harmony to systems that had forgotten how to sing together. Your eyelids flutter slightly, as if dreaming while awake. Behind them, images drift past like clouds in slow motion. None demand attention. They simply pass, offering glimpses of release, showing you that memories lose their grip when met with kindness. You feel gravity differently now, not as burden, but as embrace. The pull toward center grounds you while lifting you simultaneously. You are both rooted and floating in perfect balance. This paradox resolves easily in the space of complete surrender. The breath returns again and again, each one deeper than the last, carrying oxygen not just to lungs, but to forgotten corners of being. You can feel life returning to places that had grown numb, like flowers opening slowly to greet the dawn. There is a tingling sensation starting at your fingertips, moving inward, traveling along pathways of renewed awareness. This current carries with it the promise of renewal, reminding you that transformation is always possible. Your jaw unclenches, releasing tension you did not know you held. The muscles in your face soften, allowing expression to flow freely. You may smile or frown or remain neutral. It doesn't matter. What matters is that choice is yours, without effort or strain. The hum continues, weaving through layers of consciousness. At 40 hertz, now bringing clarity to cloudy thinking. Thoughts slow down enough to be witnessed without attachment, becoming clouds again instead of storms. You notice how quiet your mind has become. Not forced quiet, but natural, like still water reflecting sky. In this stillness, insights arise effortlessly without seeking. Truth reveals itself when the noise stops long enough to listen. The warmth in your chest expands outward, touching every organ. Your liver, your kidneys, your lungs, all bathed in golden light. They respond with gratitude, relaxing into their true purpose, functioning not from stress, but from love. You feel your pelvis tilting slightly forward, then back, finding neutral alignment, supported by an invisible cushion. This adjustment happens automatically as your body remembers ease, no longer bracing against imagined threats or future worries. The sound changes, subtly shifting to 528 Hz now. Frequency of transformation and divine repair. You feel DNA strands unwinding old patterns stored in cellular memory, releasing inherited fears and limitations passed down through generations. Your breath catches slightly not in distress, but recognition, as though meeting an old friend who was lost, then found. This friend is the part of you that never doubted your worth, waiting patiently beneath layers of learned unworthiness. You feel tears welling up behind closed eyes. But these are not tears of sadness, rather relief, washing away residue of stories that were never truly yours, cleansing the lens through which you see yourself. The kalim mist swirls closer, wrapping around your form. Its touch brings immediate soothing to any remaining friction. You are reminded that forgiveness includes forgiving yourself for believing you needed to earn the right to exist. Your posture shifts, naturally spine straightening without effort, shoulders dropping away from ears, creating space for breath. Your head balances perfectly atop your neck like a crown, symbolizing sovereignty over your own experience. The frequency drops again, now at 174 Hz. Tone of pain relief and physical healing. You feel knots in your back beginning to unravel. Muscles remembering how to let go completely. There is a sweetness in the air, almost like blooming jasmine. This fragrance triggers memories of safety and belonging. Places in childhood where you felt truly seen and accepted. Reminders that love exists independent of external validation. You become aware of your heartbeat again, strong and steady, pumping life, giving blood to every corner of your being. With each beat comes affirmation of your right to be here, to take up space and claim your place in the world. The warmth spreads further, now reaching your extremities, fingers and toes tingling with reconnection. Parts of you that felt distant are welcomed back home. No limb or organ considered less important than another. You feel your abdomen rising and falling with breath, belly moving freely without restriction or shame. This movement feeds courage directly into your core, strengthening the seat of personal power within. The mist moves closer still, now almost indistinguishable from the air itself. So integrated is its loving presence. You breathe it in and feel it settle into bone marrow, nourishing the source of new life within you. Your thoughts slow to match the pace of eternity. No rush, no urgency, just the steady unfolding of now. Words themselves seem unnecessary in this realm of direct knowing, where understanding bypasses language entirely. You feel your knees relaxing slightly, as if genuflecting to the wisdom housed within your own flesh and spirit. This gesture is not submission, but reverence, acknowledging the sacred temple you inhabit. The frequency shifts, once more now vibrating at 285 hertz. Tone associated with returning tissue to its original blueprint. You feel scars, both visible and hidden, beginning to fade. Not erased, but transformed into symbols of resilience. Your breath deepens, drawing an essence rather than mere air. This essence carries information from realms beyond the physical, reminding you of your multidimensional nature. Body, mind, spirit, all connected in seamless unity. You notice how still you have become, not frozen, but anchored in perfect equilibrium. Movement would be effortless if called for, but not necessary. Rest itself becomes a form of active participation. The Calum mist begins to shimmer more intensely, its particles dancing in rhythms only you can perceive. Each particle carries a message of unconditional acceptance, echoing truths you've always known, but sometimes forgot. You feel energy rising from base of spine, not forced, but invited by the openness you've created. This current travels upward, lighting each chakra like candles, illuminating aspects of self ready to be reintegrated. Your scalp tingles as if receiving gentle rain, each hair follicle awakening to its sensitivity. You are more alive now than perhaps ever before. Not hyperstimulated, but deeply attuned to subtlety. The sound continues weaving through layers of awareness, now incorporating tones of 396 hertz, clearing guilt and fear. You feel weights lifting from shoulders you didn't know you carried, responsibilities that were never truly yours to bear. Your throat relaxes, allowing authentic voice to emerge. Even in silence, there is communication happening between you and the field of infinite possibility. Speaking in languages older than words themselves, you become aware of hands maybe yours, maybe not, gently massaging tension from temples and brow. This touch brings immediate relief and deeper relaxation, reminding you that care can come from unexpected sources. The warmth continues its journey, now reaching crown of head, crowning you with light that connects you to source. You feel aligned with purpose that predates birth and extends far beyond individual lifetime. Your breathing has slowed dramatically, almost imperceptible. Yet somehow you are more oxygenated than ever. This paradox resolves easily in spaces where logic sleeps and intuition reigns supreme. The mist gathers more densely around your form, creating cocoon-like environment for inner metamorphosis. Within this sanctuary, everything that needs to heal can, without interference from outside influences. You feel your hips shifting slightly side to side, as if dancing to music only cellular memory recalls. This movement releases final traces of rigidity, allowing fluidity to return to joints and emotions. The frequency now settles at 639 Hz tone of reconnecting. You feel bridges forming between fragmented aspects of psyche, parts that split off in response to early wounds, now recognizing they are safe to come home. Your heart rate stabilizes at perfect rhythm, neither fast nor slow, but precisely calibrated to your needs. This steadiness becomes anchor point for deeper states, grounding you while lifting you simultaneously. You notice how your perception has shifted, seeing with more than eyes, hearing with more than ears. Knowing arrives as feeling rather than thinking. Direct transmission from source to soul. The Calum mist begins to integrate fully, no longer separate from atmosphere, but woven throughout. Its essence becomes part of your own energetic signature, marking you with seal of divine protection. You feel your rib cage expanding with each breath, lungs filling completely for first time in memory. This expansion mirrors growth happening internally, consciousness broadening to include all of you. The sound reaches 741 hertz, now clearing expressions, helping you find voice that is uniquely yours, not borrowed from others or shaped by expectations, but emerging from depths of authentic being. You become aware of energy pooling in solar plexus, warm and golden like captured sunlight. This center strengthens connection to personal power, not domination, but creative manifestation. Your entire nervous system begins to recalibrate, switching from fight or flight to rest and digest. Every cell receiving signal that safety abounds, permission to regenerate and renew. The mist pulses gently like heartbeat of cosmos, sending waves of peace through multidimensional field. You are being held not physically, but energetically by forces committed to your highest good. You feel your spine curving slightly forward, then back, finding natural S-shape designed for optimal flow. This curve opens channels previously compressed by habit, allowing life force to circulate freely. The frequency now resonates at 852 hertz, returning you to spiritual order and divine mind. You feel confusion lifting, replaced by clear insight, understanding that confusion was never enemy, but teacher. Your breath becomes so subtle it seems to pause, held in space between inhale and exhale. In this pause exists doorway to infinite potential, where miracles occur without fanfare or drama. You notice how your awareness has expanded, no longer confined to boundaries of skin, but extending into field that connects all beings, recognizing oneness underlying apparent separation. The Kalem mist reaches peak density, enveloping you completely in veil of pure love. Within this embrace, all flaws are forgiven, all mistakes reframed as stepping stones. You feel energy spiraling up from root to crown, activating meridians and nadis along the way. This current carries frequency of completion, marking integration phase of your journey. Your heartbeat synchronizes with cosmic rhythm, matching pulse of stars and planets. You remember your place in grand symphony, both soloist and orchestra member. The sound now incorporates 963 Hz frequency, connecting you to oneness and pure divine light. You feel crown chakra opening like lotus flower, receiving downloads from higher dimensions. Your breath returns to normal pace, but remains infused with sacred quality. Each cycle carrying blessing into physical realm, transforming ordinary moments into portals. You become aware of hands cupping your face, gentle pressure encouraging deeper relaxation. This touch awakens receptors for comfort, reminding you of safety available anytime. The mist begins to thin slightly, not disappearing, but becoming part of background. Its influence remains embedded in your aura, available whenever called upon. You feel your body settling more deeply into support. Whatever surface holds you responds perfectly, contouring to unique shape of your relaxation, cradling you like mother's arms. The frequencies harmonize, creating resonance chamber within which healing occurs naturally. You are both receiver and transmitter, broadcasting peace into collective field. You notice how quiet has become multidimensional. Not absence of sound, but presence of stillness. Within this stillness, worlds can be born, and old patterns can finally die. The Kala mist sends final pulse of reassurance, sealing integration with golden thread. This thread connects you to this moment, ensuring access whenever needed. You feel complete in ways previously unimaginable, not because anything changed externally, but because internal landscape shifted, revealing wholeness that was always there. Your breath carries new rhythm, one that matches universal heartbeat, syncing you with cycles of creation, making you co-author of reality. The mist fades to background level, still present, but no longer foregrounded. Its work accomplished through your transformation, leaving you changed, yet unchanged. You feel energy descending from crown to root, anchored anchoring integration into physical plane. This grounding ensures lessons learned here can manifest in waking life. The sound resolves into single pure tone, frequency of completion and readiness. You understand journey is not ending, but beginning anew from higher vantage. You notice how light feels different now, no longer harsh or demanding, but nourishing, warming you from inside out, illuminating path forward. The Calum mist whispers final benediction, sealing contract between you and peace. This agreement transcends time and space, remaining valid across all dimensions. You feel your body releasing last remnants of tension, not pushed out, but allowed to dissolve, like sugar in warm tea sweetening solution, rather than remaining separate. Your breath becomes bridge between realms, carrying essence of this space into world. Each cycle infusing environment with calm, creating ripple effects of healing. The mist integrates, fully becoming part of you, no longer external force, but inner resource, accessible through intention and remembrance, ready to activate whenever called. You feel completion settling into bones, not final destination, but milestone, marking integration of shadow and light into unified field of being. The sound fades, leaving perfect silence, not emptiness, but fullness beyond words. Within this silence, answers arise naturally, without seeking or striving. You notice how presence has become permanent, no longer fleeting visitor, but resident, dwelling in chambers of your consciousness, awaiting invitation to emerge. The Calum mist breathes with you now, matching rhythm of your recovery, its essence woven into fabric of your being, creating tapestry of transformed awareness. You feel ready to return when needed, not escaping, but choosing consciously, carrying gifts of this space into world, sharing light through simple presence. Let the edges of your awareness begin to soften now. Feel how each breath moves slowly through your body, There is no rush here. No need to hold on to anything at all. Just let yourself sink into this moment. The world outside fades gently into the background. Its sounds become distant and muffled, like hearing music from another room. You are safe here in this quiet space, wrapped in something warm and steady. Your thoughts begin to slow down now. They drift past like leaves on still water. Some might linger for a moment, but none of them need to stay. Let them float away naturally. There is nothing you must figure out right now. No problems require your attention today. Your mind can rest completely. Your body knows how to relax. It remembers this feeling well. Feel the weight of your limbs growing heavier. Your shoulders release their tension. Your jaw unclenches without effort. Even your eyelids feel pleasantly heavy. This is exactly where you belong. In this deep and comfortable stillness, where time moves differently, where each second feels like a small gift, a gentle offering of peace. You don't have to earn this. It's already yours to receive, just as you are, exactly as you feel right now. Nothing needs to change, except perhaps how deeply you allow yourself to rest. Notice how your breathing has slowed, how each inhale brings calm, and each exhale carries away what no longer serves you. This rhythm becomes your anchor, steady and reliable, guiding you deeper into relaxation. Feel how supported you are, as if the very air around you holds you gently, like being embraced by something vast and loving, a presence that understands completely and asks nothing of you. This is your sanctuary, a place you can always return to whenever you need to remember how deeply you can rest, how completely you can let go. The resonance moves through you now, not pushing or pulling, simply flowing where it's needed most. Your body recognizes this frequency. It responds with instinctive trust, allowing itself to heal, to restore, to remember what wholeness feels like. This process requires no effort from you. Your system knows how to find balance when given the space to do so. Trust in your own natural wisdom, in the intelligence of your being. It has has been caring for you always, guiding you toward what serves your highest good, even when you couldn't feel it. Now you can feel it clearly, this sense of coming home to a part of yourself that has never left, never forgotten you. The images in your mind begin to dissolve, like morning mist touched by sunlight. They fade naturally, without resistance, without struggle, leaving behind only pure sensation. The warmth in your chest, the steadiness in your heartbeat, the coolness of your breath, moving in and out effortlessly. This is enough. More than enough. Everything you need is right here, in this moment of complete surrender, in this space of perfect acceptance, where you are held without condition. Feel how your nervous system calms, how stress melts away, layer by layer, like snow melting in spring sunshine, gentle and gradual, nourishing the ground beneath. This is how healing happens, quietly, deeply, without fanfare. Your body knows the way. Your heart remembers. There is no timeline for this work, no deadline to meet, no goal to achieve, just the simple act of being, of existing in peace. Let your awareness expand now, beyond the boundaries of your physical form, into the space around you, vast and welcoming, holding you completely, like the embrace of night sky. Stars scattered across infinite darkness, yet somehow full of light. This darkness is not empty. It is rich with possibility, with potential for renewal. You are cradled in this richness, supported by forces greater than you know, ancient and wise. They have carried others before you and will carry others after. You are part of something continuous, something eternal that pulses through all life, connecting everything in one endless rhythm, one shared breath. Feel how small concerns fall away, how petty worries lose their grip. In the face of this vastness, what seemed important moments ago now feels distant, almost laughable. Not because it was wrong, but because you can see it clearly now, from a higher perspective, where everything finds its proper place, where peace flows freely. This perspective lives within you, always available, waiting patiently for your return. Like a favorite chair by the window, warm from the sun, ready whenever you need to sit. Your breathing continues its slow dance, in and out, in and out, each cycle deeper than the last, each pause more complete. You are learning to trust this process, to let it unfold naturally, without trying to control the outcome, without needing to understand every detail, just allowing, just receiving. The resonance works quietly in the background, like roots drawing nutrients from deep soil, invisible but essential. Your whole system benefits, even parts you cannot name are nourished by this gentle frequency. Feel how your energy settles, how agitation transforms into stillness. This is not emptiness, but fullness of a different kind, rich and sustaining. Like the difference between hunger and satisfaction, between thirst and cool water. You are drinking deeply now, from a source that never runs dry, that replenishes itself constantly, offering its gifts freely. There is no scarcity here, only abundance, only the certainty that what you need will always arrive when you are ready to receive it. Your body relaxes further, molecules slowing their dance, cells communicating in harmony, tissues repairing themselves, systems rebalancing naturally, all without conscious effort. This is the power of surrender, of letting go completely, of trusting in processes larger than yourself, larger than your understanding, but not larger than your worth. You are worthy of this rest, of this deep restoration, of this sacred pause. No conditions apply, no achievements required, just your willingness to accept what is already offered freely. Feel the completeness of this moment, how it contains everything you need, how it stretches infinitely while remaining perfectly present. Time loses its usual meaning here. Minutes become hours. Hours become seconds, depending on what serves your healing, what supports your journey inward. You are exactly where you need to be, in the perfect environment for growth, for renewal, for remembering who you truly are. Beneath all the surface noise, beneath all the temporary roles, there is something constant, something unchanging, something that has always been and always will be. This core of you, steady and true. The resonance touches this place, awakens it gently, reminds it of its strength, of its connection to all things, of its inherent wholeness. You don't have to fix anything. Just remember, just recognize what has always been there, waiting patiently for your attention. Your awareness grows softer now, not weaker, but more spacious, like opening a door to a larger room where everything fits comfortably, where there is room to breathe, room to simply be, without crowding yourself, without pushing against your own edges. Everything has its place here, including you, especially you. You belong in this peace. You belong in this stillness. You belong in this deep rest, where your true nature reveals itself quietly, gently, completely. The resonance continues its work, even as words fade, even as sound becomes silence. Your body understands. Your spirit knows what to do with this gift, this offering of complete rest, this permission to let go entirely. Trust in this knowing. Trust in this wisdom that lives within you, beneath thought, beneath worry, beneath all surface disturbance. There is a place of perfect calm where storms cannot reach, where chaos cannot enter. This sanctuary exists within you and around you, always. Whenever you need to return, whenever you want to remember. This feeling of complete safety, this sense of coming home, it will be waiting. Like a favorite blanket, warm from storage, ready to wrap around you. Whenever you need comfort, whenever you want to rest, like a door that's always unlocked, leading back to this peace, back to this stillness, back to yourself, exactly as you are, completely accepted, resonance doesn't stop when the words do. It continues its gentle work, supporting you, nurturing you, holding you in perfect care. Long after this moment passes, you don't need to remember everything, just the feeling, just the knowing that peace is possible, that rest is available, that you are never truly alone, even in silence, even in stillness. There is something greater, something holding you, something loving you completely. Sleep now. Drift softly into tomorrow's light.